Hi there, this is a bit different, this video. I didn't record any time-lapse of building the theatre that I'd done, but I did take a few screenshots, so I just thought I'd show you how it had developed along the way. So before I started building it, this was the area of the map over here. I'm hoping the mouse is going to capture okay while I'm doing this. So this area over here was where I decided it looked a little like a natural amphitheatre and started building. So in the next shot you can see this is where I showed it roughly in the video, where I'd roughed out where I felt a theatre might about fit. I started off with a circle, semicircle at this end to give a sort of rounded end to the building. I wanted to avoid the blockiness, which is exactly what I've ended up with at this end. I established a centre line through the middle. Where else would a centre line be but in the middle? And this was a different view, just to give it for reference for later on after it's finished. And then I went through and evened out the soil in the middle. So I tried to pick one of the sides as the reference and keep it as roughly the same, but actually both sides ended up having to change quite significantly from how they started. I've also here started to put down where the seats would be with a inner circle there, and also established a stage area. Obviously no roof, which is why you can still see the buildings outside. And this is the same thing from a higher vantage point, where you can see how the soil area is now symmetrical and the seats are now beginning to appear. There was a few bits on the seating which I struggled with. I wanted to get a fairly regular pattern, seat, rise, seat, rise, seat, rise, but that went up at too high a rate. So I had to do a few that were at the same level, such as over there. But it didn't really work properly, and that's something I've struggled with all the way through after starting the build. Not quite sure how it could have been done any different. I ended up where I ended up, that's all I can say. So another view of the same thing at roughly the same point in the building. I then decided it needed a red carpet down the middle. I think theatres have something that helps you guide down the middle, and initially I used torches either side, like you would see the lighting down the centre pathway through a theatre. I've also here established a stage lighting area, top of the where the curtain run would be, and put the curtains in. And fairly early on I realised I wanted these box seats in there. So another view at roughly the same stage of building, looking backwards. And then I wanted to imagine if you were on the stage performing, what view would you get of the seating? And I was actually quite pleased with it at this point. It started to look like you were looking out into a theatre, if you've got a good imagination, I suppose. There we go. And then that was looking for the other side. It was fairly early on I decided you had to have a trapdoor on a stage, and I didn't want it smack in the middle, so it had to be hidden away just slightly behind the curtain. And then I wanted to see if you got a good view of the stage from all the seats. So I spent some time sort of wandering around, imagining being sat in all the different seating positions to see if you would get a good view. Then this happened. I decided to put the roof on, finish the walls off, and it turned into a big, ugly square block. Wasn't happy with this at all. But there you go. That's what it ended up as. And then looking around the other views, inside again with the roof on and the lighting in, looking from the boxes, it's now beginning to look more like it does in the end. And basically the last thing I'd done was raise the walls, put a better roof on, and added the inner circle. That's it for now.